Okay, this isn't going to be your normal football manager challenge. In this challenge, the traditional formations, your 4-4-2s, your 4-3-3s, even your 5 at the backs, they're going to have a big, unique twist. And that is that every team we use, I must have a tactic in it that features at least 2 liberos. The teams will be decided by a spin of the Wheel of Doom. And in this libero challenge, we have 10 seasons to win as many trophies as we possibly can. What am I thinking? Here are the further rules of the challenge. You've got to have a maximum of 2 seasons at any one club. If you haven't won a trophy after 2 seasons, we've got to leave new libero tactic at every club. And if we do win a trophy, we must leave that club and then we spin the wheel for our next club. This was all born from Twitter and that viral tweet of mine and the tactic that blew up, and let's see what happens. If you saw on the Wheel of Clubs, we have 10 clubs from 10 different countries, and there they are: the Premier League, Ligue 1, the Bundesliga, the Greek Super League, Serie A, Eredivisie, the Portuguese Premier League, the Cinch Premiership in Scotland, the Spanish First Division, and the Turkish Super League. They're all locked and loaded. Let's get going. And here is the wheel with the 10 clubs. Now we're going to go for as many trophies as we can in 10 seasons. We might not get around all the clubs depending on how long it takes us to win a blooming trophy using these ridiculous tactics. But it's time for Club 1. It's going to be from Sporting, Ajax, Inter, Barcelona, Aston Villa, Fenerbahce, Leipzig, Lyon, Celtic, or Panathinaikos. Let's see. This bit always seems to take an age. Our first club will be, it's going to be one of the big boys, which will give us a good start. Inter Milan. All right. So Inter have been removed from there. Our next club will be one of those 9, but for now, let's get to Inter and stick in our first double libero tactic. So Inter have got a really strong squad and they've got loads of centre-backs, so that's going to be handy. So the double liberos, I've built some already. I haven't tested many of them, but I've built some of them. And they're all in this file down here. There it is, Mr. Libero. So at the minute, we've got a few to choose from. Right, I've gone for this one for Inter Milan because they are a really strong team. And they're going to need to be with this one. We've got twin liberos on support with a no-nonsense centre-back. 3 up front. Let's see what happens. Quick pick of the team shows me I've got some good centre-backs. Pavard, Bastoni, De Verge. And I've got good wing-backs. A little bit worried about the strikers. Mkhitaryan not really a striker. Maybe we can bring someone in quickly. I don't really want to make too many transfers, but that's the tactic. Let's see what happens with Inter. Right, we made one panic signing. Hala comes in as a striker. Right, we've done a few friendlies. This is against Lazio. We won 4-2, but I thought I'd show you what it looks like in match and how crazy it is. So you can see at the back there, we've got Bastoni, De Verge, and Pavard. 3 centre-backs. In front of them, 1 half-back. He's going to be like a ball-playing half-back in Hakan. And Hakan's in that DM slot. Only 2 of them are going to advance. So I'm hoping that the middle one will stick back with Hakan so we're not completely exposed. This is how it looks. So kicking off. Off go Bastoni and Pavard like lunatics, already tearing up into the middle of the pitch. As Thuram finds the wing back, let's pause it there. We can see we've basically got 1.5 back in the centre back with Hakan just in front of him. And now we've lost the ball. You can see Bastoni and Pavard panicking and sprinting back. Highlights continue. As I say, we won this one 4-2. So it looks like we're going to score a few, but we're going to concede a truckload as well. But we're into Milan, so we've got a chance, right? Let's see how the season goes anyway.
Are you ready?
So the first season is over with Inter Milan. Question is, did we win a trophy? There was some truly ridiculous results. Check out this 9-goal win against Monza, and the match stats show it's just ridiculous. We also beat AC Milan away from home, no less. At times we were lethal, but also a little inconsistent. Fiorentina beating us here. And after beating Monza 9-0 at home, we somehow managed to lose to them 1-0 away from home. We got to the quarterfinals of the Italian Cup, but Napoli beat us. We were really good in the Champions League. This is against Bayern Munich, no less, and we absolutely smashed them 4-0. Came up against Barcelona in the semi-final, and in the first leg, we beat them. We probably should have won by a few more as well, because in the second leg, they turned it around and beat us 3-0, but it was way tighter than the scoreline suggests. Now, in the league, we were really good. There's a 6-goal win there against Lazio. There was other big wins as well, like this 7-goal win against Empoli. There's definitely something with this tactic. It's just a little bit inconsistent, so we're going to need another season at Inter because we didn't win a trophy. Champions League, Super Cup, Italian Cup, and we finished second to AC Milan in the league. However, it is definitely promising. 38 matches, we lost 8, but we did score 91 times, and we only conceded 42. And if you think about the tactic, that's not too bad. So, with some signings this summer, we go again, and we will win something, I am convinced, with this tactic next season. Let's try season 2. Just a couple of transfers. Gyökeres, 40 million from Sporting. Lazzari, 5 million from Lazio. Zapata on a free. Very Inter Milan-like signing, that. Just about to start pre-season. The boys are ready. The squad's beefy as hell now. We're ready for season 2. We are not going to fail this first club. Come on. Okay, it's a fail in the Champions League because Arsenal did a bit of a number on us and knocked us out. That's 1 down. But oh man, in the league we were really good. Look at this against Napoli. 5-1. Battered. Similar story away at Roma. 5-0 away from home. But alas, our old problems of consistency came back. What are we doing losing away at Lecce? We fell away badly at the back end of the season, and AC Milan take the title despite us beating them a couple of times. So my one and only shot this season was the Italian Cup, otherwise it would be a failure. We played Bologna in the final, and thankfully the boys showed up. Look at Pavard in that libero role, to the wing-back Lazzari. There's Lautaro. Bologna couldn't deal with us, there's movement everywhere with the false nines, the liberos, the wing-backs. We smashed them 4-0. It's a sunny day outside and it's a sunny day on the pitch as the libero, the Scott Hall's toothpick, that horrendous creation there, gets us our first trophy, but it did take us 2 seasons. So we're a bit behind schedule, but we've done it. It's now time to resign, leave that libero tactic in the distance. New club, new tactic. Who's it going to be? At this point, I will remind you that all these tactics are in my Patreon channel, but if you just want to copy them off the video, I'll chuck the play instructions for that last tactic right now. Last time on the libero story, we picked our first team into Milan and our first double libero tactic. We got our first trophy. Now it's time for team and tactic number 2. Okie dokie, right, it's time to find out where we're going to go to next and then put one of those libero bad boys in there. So, here are the teams that left, only Inter have gone. Let's see where we're heading to next in the libero story. Ooh. Is it going to be a tricky one at Lyon or Celtic? Right. Now this is interesting because we should breeze this. Right. So our time at Inter is done. We'll go to resign from the club. Sorry lads, we're off. I thought we did okay though. Runners up twice and the cup. So we move on now. So here's Celtic, currently with Brendan Rodgers in charge. And as you can see, they've just won the league again. How many times have they won the league? Let's have a little look. Go to league table. Okay, so they didn't win it last year, but they won it this year. So Rodgers is going to be out. Sorry, Brendan. Vacation for you, my friend. To Scotland. So we should have a good squad in comparison to the league. And if I just put it in position order, how's the centre-backs looking? So we've got a clutch of... Tell you what, they've got a decent centre-back there. That's Tosin, who's just signed for Chelsea in real life. All right, all right. But in general, the squad looks more than capable of winning us a trophy this season. We've got a few standout players there that we can see. The much talked about Matt O'Reilly. And up front, Kyogo looks like he had a good season last season, as does Ritsu Doan. So we're going to have a good team. It looks like we can potentially play wider on this one. So they won the treble this season, eh? Oh well. Oh dear. So time to insert our tactic for the pre-season. Now looking at the squad, I think it's absolutely time to use the double libero tactic that we made famous. So we'll go to our little Mr. Libero folder. Remember, Patreon, these are there waiting for you. And we're going to go with Motta-inspired Wreck. There she is. It's there in its beautiful, beautiful shape. So we've got our double libero who will sit in the central midfield alongside the Register. Your inside fullbacks, inverted fullbacks, will cut across. The Mazzalas will jump out wide to combine with the false nines. It's absolute carnage. That's what we're going to use. Also for this one, I'm going to put the Director of Football in charge of transfers so he can bulk the team up if he wants. We're just going to concentrate on what we do on the pitch. The decision to leave it all up to my Director of Football has already bit me in the ass because they've sold Tosin already. That's probably left us a little bit short as I choose our best 11 for the libero roles. We've got another Japanese guy. What's going on with Celtic in Japan? Someone do please let me know. So Genta Miura, he's going in as one of the liberos. Quite like it actually. He's passing and he's dribbling are pretty decent. His technique's sublime. Next to him we have Liam Scales. Again, technically pretty good, so not too bad there. But he's out of contract, so can we give him a new contract, please? Other than that, though, there isn't that many. So I'm hoping Director of Football gets his finger out and gets someone in. Otherwise, I'll have to step in. Further up the park, I think we look all right. I like the look of the front three. We've got Furuhashi, who scored all those goals last season. He's going to be perfect up there. And we've got Dawn, who came in from Roma on a permanent. What a perfect false nine he's going to be. The false nine in this formation will spend a lot of time wide, and that's exactly where he likes to play. On the other side, at the minute, we've got this Chilean Aravina. Again, his perfect position is false nine. So I'm well happy with that, although vultures are circling for him. Midfield looks good with McGregor, Holm and O'Reilly. I think this could tear it up. To give us more options, I've gone to every player such as this one who can't actually play up front but is good out wide. And I've asked them to retrain as a false nine. So we're going to have more options up front with all the matches and injuries and such things like that. So I lost faith with my Director of Football, so I brought in a player. How about Jarell Quansah on loan from Liverpool? The perfect libero for me. He's going to be class. Little pre-season friendly against Man City. You'll notice that's Quansah, our new signing. Just doing libero things. My God. Solid 1-1 draw. I'm excited. It's time for the start of the season. We only lost one match in pre-season. That was away to Brentford, so I'm quite excited about this. I'll show you what it looks like in match when we get going. It's Hibs first. Okay, we've just kicked off and you can see in defence it's as normal as you like. You've got your back four across there. You've got your three in midfield and you've got your three strikers. Now the wide guys will keep an eye on the opposition fullbacks as well, so that's quite handy. Now we're on the attack and you can see the difference in the way the team are playing. Lewis is there, he's one fullback, and there's Johnson the other. Our centre-backs are now playing in central midfield, Quansah and Moira, and there's the Register in between. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up front, all ready to cause havoc. You will notice quite a lot that your liberos will go wide as well. But as you can see, that's the striker on the left-hand side, the false nine, Doan. He's providing the width on that side. So your false nines are like really advanced wingers, causing havoc, spreading the game out. And if you look back here now, Quansah and Moira, they're now anchoring the midfield, meaning all the others can just do whatever they want. I think this is going to cause havoc in the SPL. He needs to work on his finishing though. The game against Hibs ended 3-0. You can see all the players getting involved there. The libero to the Register, and there's the poacher finishing it off. A good start with 72% ball possession. But now it was time for the first Old Firm game of the season. This will be the big test of the tactic. And the good news is, they absolutely crushed Rangers. It was 2-0, but it could have been loads more. This will be the best team we play in the league, so this is good to see. 2-0, 76% ball possession. Rangers didn't really have a sniff. Your pass map's going to look something like that. Have a look at the keeper's position. He's going to be outside of his box all the time, basically playing like a cover centre-back. He gets that high up. You can see how wide they play. You've got your number 7 there, is your false 9, who provides width on one side, and your number 9 on the other. It's just a lovely, lovely formation. That shouldn't work, but it does. Now, before we get into the full season, a note on your goalkeeper. I said he was going to be high up the pitch, and you'll notice he gets a high average rating, 7.88, and that's quite weird considering we don't face many shots. He acts like our sweeper. Look at that. Look at the difference between him and everybody else. Take a look at what you can expect. He's nearly at the halfway line sometimes. Their first final of the season was against Rangers. This is our chance to get a trophy straight away, and we did it. Just like that, we gain the trophy with this libero tactic. And you know what? Credit where credit's due. Director of Football came up trumps deadline day. He got Philip Billing, Godfrey and Theo Kehrer all on loan from the Premier League. And Luke Wolfenden, if anyone's looking for a libero, that boy is class. And he got him from Ipswich for pretty cheap. So now I've got a bit of a conundrum. We've won our first trophy and it's only December. Do we play the whole season out, or have we done what we set out to do and do we go for the next challenge? As it stands, we are top of the league and we should probably win that. We're still in the Champions League, just about, only 1 point off getting through to the next round, and we're still in the Scottish Cup, so it's really tempting to stay. But did I say in the first episode that if you win a trophy, you just got to leave? Yeah, I did. Damn it. So, after just a few months, we are about to leave Celtic and leave behind the beautiful Motta-inspired rec tactic. And you can see how much the strikers are enjoying themselves. I've actually built a really nice squad there. I'm going to be quite sad to leave them. However, it does mean we're going to join one of these leagues halfway through the season, which could be quite interesting depending on where the team are sitting. Back to our old friend the wheel. We're going to decide where we go next. Celtic could have been a legacy, but we're not here for that. We're here to exploit with the libero. And next off, we are going to... Now this one I'm worried about. We're going to Lyon, which is obviously France. So first off, thank you Celtic. It was beautiful. We'll leave you alone. I'm sure you will do the business. We'll resign from Celtic. Wait till you see where Lyon are. I mean, come on. Can I go back to Scotland? In the last episode of the libero story, we went to Scotland and Celtic. The original viral double libero tactic came out to play. It worked a treat and gave us a trophy win after only 4 months in the job. The wheel landed on Lyon, and it looks like a tough proposition. Rules are rules, let's go to Lyon. As we saw last time, Lyon are having what can only be described as an absolute nightmare in League 1. They're sitting rock bottom, and a close look at the fixture list shows it has been a nightmare this season. Not ideal for us and our distinctive style of play. I'm really baffled on why they've had such a bad time actually. If you look at the squad, they've got some really good players. Standout is centre-back Adrielson. What a centre-back he is, and he's valued at 40 million. The man Matic is still there. They've even got Jorginho. But it's in the forward areas where they've got most of the talent. Benrahma, Origi, Kouame, and of course the highly rated Rayan Cherki. The good news is he's still there. Having seen all that, it's time to load in our latest libero tactic. This one is beautifully named 5 Knuckle. I mean, when a manager's brought in for a struggling team, I don't think they'll be expecting to play something like that. Okay, third club then, and Lyon are going to be the guinea pigs for the 5 Knuckle tactic. But looking at that forward line, I think they're going to fit into this. I'm going to put them in there now. Instantly, I feel better. The team looks pretty solid there. If I start at the back, Tagliafico is probably a perfect version of an inverted fullback. Not necessarily great going forward because he hasn't got the pace anymore at 33, but definitely someone who can shift over. And if you look at the 2 liberos we're going to use, Matic in his later years, that could be perfect in his later years as a libero. And on the other side, the aforementioned Brazilian Adrielson could be good. We've got Zeki Celtic as the attacking fullback on one side, and then it's further up the field where it really gets exciting. You've got Benrahma, who's going to play off the striker, Cherki in his favoured position out wide, and we're going to go with 2 up front, a Trequartista, just why not, and Divock Origi up front. Hopefully he can recover some Liverpool form. Let's go. Now look, the league is a disaster. Obviously, we're not going to win the league. They've had a nightmare. But the good news is, as I look at the schedule, the cup hasn't started yet, because if it had, they probably would have been knocked out. So we've got that coming. There's a sliver of a chance we can do something in the French Cup. As long as somebody knocks PSG out, we might have a chance. I also love the fact Jorginho's here. How much did they buy him for? 2.7 million. All right, not bad, not bad. So Jorginho's going to get a couple of games as well. The bench is solid. The guy in the deep line playmaker role is Cacaret. Is that right? I mean, he's valued at 30 to 35 million. Who was in charge before me? What has he been doing? They're only in 2 competitions. There's no European football for Lyon this year. The goal is basically the French Cup, and try not to get sacked, because at the minute, they are in the mud. We don't need tactics like Sam Allardyce or David Moyes to get us out of the mess. it's going to be the 5-knuckle, right? The first game we played was that French Cup game, and this team are lower than us, but it was good to see Origi bagging a hat-trick. Very promising start, although we did allow quite a few chances against. Next, it was the next round of the Cup. This is round 10, and this was wild. It took a 96th-minute winner. Your eyes do not deceive you. It was 5-4 against Le Havre. That should probably have acted as a warning sign, because next, in our first league game against highly fancied Monaco, we got battered. We lost the next one to Nice, but not as bad. We're starting to look okay. Now I'm going to show you how this tactic starts to work in shape as well. Now straight from kickoff, you can see our 3 centre-backs. Now these are triple liberos. We have Matic, then the more defensive-minded one, Celtic, and then we've got Adrielson there. So we'll keep an eye on Matic and Adrielson. They're going to be the two that bomb forward. I'm hoping the guy in the middle sees them two going forward and just holds his position. Let's have a little look at the way things move. Well, you can see instantly they're moving forward. There we go, there we go. My hope is that under my head, Tagliafico, there he is, will stay back with this man while everything else is happening up here. But what you can see is the front four that we've got of Kouame, Shirky, Origi and Benrahma are already loving life, and they're getting supported by that attacking fullback. Look at that now. So, bang, pause that. We've got basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 forward and 2 back. I could do with Tagliafico getting across there a little bit, but we'll see how it plays out. There's the deep line playmaker. That's the centre-back, Adrielson. And Tagliafico, to be fair to him, is trudging over into the centre-back slot because he needs to, because my other libero has decided to go forward as well. Jesus. But it looks all right, doesn't it? We could just... We're gonna concede a few goals because Tagliafico isn't getting quite as far across as I'd like him to. But we're going to score some as well, because look at the attacking options Celtic's got down that right-hand side. And what I love is that the liberos are now panicking and absolutely legging it to get back in defence. But wait a minute, after those first few dodgy games, we have started to build up a bit of form now, a bit of a head of steam. We've only lost 1 game in Ligue 1 to Lens, and we're progressing to the semi-finals of the French Cup. You can see the chemistry that they've started to form. They're actually looking all right in this tactic now. Things are looking up. Look at this one from Shirky down the left-hand side. Now, all the options he's got for the pullback. We've also got our liberos chilling out on the edge of the box. As it comes back, there's one of them who pings it in. We've stormed up the league to 13th now. Remember when we took over, we were rock bottom, but now we're 13th. It's far too far away to get into Europe. But it was time for the semi-finals of the French Cup, and wouldn't you just know it, we drew Paris Saint-Germain. Unbelievably though, in the 26th minute, we got a penalty, and Benrahma slotted it in. PSG came back at us though. They've got a Galactico team, and Xavi Simons put it in for 1-1. PSG weren't dealing with our movement and rotation though, and Mata went down the right-hand side. Jorginho, what is he doing up there? He whips it across. Our second penalty of the match in the 72nd minute. Benrahma again, top bin. Unbelievably, we've knocked PSG out of the semi-finals of the French Cup. That is unreal. We have been on a stomping run. Now, PSG, to be fair to them, were the better team. They had 22 shots, 10 on target, they dominated possession, but we stuck in there with our formation, 2 penalties, and we're in the final. We have a chance here of coming in December and winning a trophy because we've got Toulouse in the final of the French Cup. This would be a massive bonus. I bloody love the 5-knuckle tactic. It's worked a treat. The front four are having a right laugh. The liberos love it. Tagliafico, hopefully one day he'll get over to that centre-back position, but he's doing a job. So it's a little while to the French Cup final. We've got like 8 or so league games to build up a bit of momentum, and then it's the big one. Let's see if we can get this trophy. That'll be 2 trophies in this one season from Celtic and Lyon. Massive bonus. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, we closed out the season pretty well and finished in a very respectable 11th place. More than happy with that. So after we took over, a really good run, a little bit of inconsistency, but some good wins. PSG did get revenge for that cup defeat, but it wasn't as one-sided as the scoreline looks. But now it was time for our bonus shot at a trophy, the French Cup final against Toulouse. I've just realised that Toulouse are in the 2nd division. We will not get a better chance than this. We've got a full strength team. You can see the chemistry is continuing and loads of players are wanted. It shows the uptake in form. Here we go then. Are you ready? Now, 2nd division Toulouse put up a great fight, but watch this assist from Shirky. Oh my days, for Origi. Toulouse battled hard and got one back, but we sealed the win through Benrahma. Somehow, we've accomplished defeat in half a season. I do believe this Shirky assist deserves a second look. Oh, wow. Now that is an unexpected result. From where we took over, bottom of the league, looking dead and buried, we've done it. That one was a brand new tactic, created on the fly. I will put the player instructions on the end of this episode. I'll put it in Patreon as well if you want to try it with a different team. It's probably worth a punt. So where are we going to end up next? The Libero story rolls on. We were sent to France and bottom of the league, Lyon. With a triple Libero tactic, we kept them up and shockingly to a cup final. So after that roller coaster, it was time to go for our next club, and the wheel gave us RB Leipzig. Okay, so the whistle-stop tour of French football is done. Lyon, you're blooming welcome, by the way. RB Leipzig is up next, and as we can see, they've just finished the league season and they've had a good one, finishing third behind, of course, FC Bayern and Dortmund. Looks like a pretty decent season, and awkwardly, they've just won the German Cup. Current manager Thomas Lech joined a year ago. He's just won the German Cup and been awarded the German Manager of the Year, and he's about to get sacked for no apparent reason. To Germany we go. So here we are at RB Leipzig. Now let me tell you this. This is arguably a better squad than even Inter Milan's, the first team we took charge of. Honestly, there's so much talent here. Obviously, we start at the defence end of the pitch because of all the liberos. You've got Radu Dragusin from Tottenham's joined. Still got Willy Orban, Lukeba, Simican. Wow. We've got an elite wing-back in David Ram. Not to mention higher up the pitch, you've still got Dani Olmo. Sesko's a striker. And Lois Openda. I mean, we don't need to bring anybody in. That's great and all, but what that does do, along with the fact they finished third and won the cup, it cranks the pressure on us big time.
He didn't just say that.
So for the libero tactic for this team, I'm going to go a little bit more classic and remix a famous formation. So I've knocked up this one, RB Leipzig. See what I did there? On the surface of things, it looks like a classic 4-2-3-1, but there's going to be movement everywhere, and ironically, this is probably the closest I've been to replicating Thiago Motta, which is how this whole libero thing started. So more of a classic formation, but when it gets going, it'll look a lot different. Remember, that's the way they're going to set up in defence. When we start attacking, it's going to look a lot different to that. The team will probably look something like this. We've got a decent goalkeeper, the two centre-backs, Simican and Lukeba, both perfect for liberos. Great on the ball, could easily play in midfield. Got a stunning left wing-back, a good right wing-back, two solid central midfielders, and then these guys up front are going to go daft. I've decided to play Poulsen just because I bloody like the guy. 6'4", wide target man. Let's give it a shot. But now though, it is the 24th of May. They've just finished their season. I'm going to let them go on holiday. And a little reminder that now we have got a cup with Inter after 2 years, a cup with Celtic after 3 months, and a cup with Lyon after about 4 or 5 months. This one, however, bizarrely could be the toughest one of them all. Let's go. Deep into pre-season, it's gone well, but we're going to play Real Madrid next, and that's going to be the test. Annoyingly, Dani Olmo's out for this one. Okay, here we are in match. You can see the back four pretty solid. The movement we're going to look for is from the two liberos, because they do have two people in that defensive midfield zone. So is it going to stop them moving forward like the other tactics do? That'll be the interesting thing. Big test against Real Madrid. And it doesn't take long to realise that they are going to move. They are going to move. Those two defensive midfielders are not going to stop them. So if we focus on the four there, you can see them there. Simican, Castello, Zava and Seiwald. Those are the four we're looking at. We've just got the ball back. It's literally 20 seconds into the match, by the way. Now Simican just pings it outfield. There goes the wing back. Now you can see my two centre-backs. Pause it there. They've moved forward. They are bombing forward. First half over. We've been the better team. We're only behind 2 penalties, so I'm pretty chilled out about the way it's going to look for the season. We could potentially, and we'll do this for the second half, is drop the other defensive midfielder to a half-back as well. Let's see how that affects the movement. We should see when this ball comes out that these effectively switch position and rotate. Let's have a little look. Throwing comes in. Off go the liberos, and the two DMs are both sitting back. So that gives us an alternative version, whereas the halfbacks and liberos effectively swap position. With those changes, we actually played a lot better. There's the libero finding the wide target forward who crosses for Openda. The game ended 2-2, but look at the match. This bodes well. I think we might go for the halfback version, you know.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Right, we're settled in for the season's tactic. There's version 1 and there's version 2 that we used in the second half against Real Madrid. We'll probably use this match against bigger teams because Madrid did not deal with it well, and the rotation between the halfbacks and the liberos was magnifique. As always, both these tactics will be in Patreon when the video releases, and because they're brand new, I'll stick the player instructions on the end of the video for those not in Patreon. Okay, it's kick-off time for the season. We've got 3 opportunities for a trophy. Bundesliga, going to be tough. Champions League, well. The Pokal's probably our best chance that we won last year. A note on Super Cups, we're not going to count those because they are just one-off matches. Okay, let's go.
Let's go, let's go.
Now, despite the shakiest of possible starts in the Bundesliga, ouch, they soon got to grips with the double libero, double halfback tactic and found some demon form. It meant by the winter break we'd surged to the top of the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich hot on our heels. The Champions League was going well as well, and this included a fantastic victory against Barcelona with the libero scoring. As it stands, we are top of the Bundesliga. We're going to qualify from the Champions League group and win the quarter-finals of the Cup, but we do play Mönchengladbach, who did batter us 4-1.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Tempted to make a signing or two because we've got loads of money, but do we need to? We did make one signing. Pablo Torre comes in from Barca for 30 million. That's because we'd sold quite a few players, well, the director of football had, so yeah, we got him in. We got our revenge on Mönchengladbach for thumping 4-1 win in the league, but in probably our best chance of silverware, the cup, Mönchengladbach did us again. That's a massive blow. We dumped Roma out of the Champions League and got to the quarter-final, but 2 injury time goals from Inter Milan knocked us out. This means our only chance this season is the Bundesliga. We're going well. We smashed Bayern, Leverkusen. And in the big match against Bayern Munich, we went 2-0 up inside the first 15 minutes. But they came back at us and grabbed the draw. That could hurt. With just 4 games to go, we are locked with Bayern Munich and Dortmund just 2 points behind. And if you look at the past winners of this Bundesliga, if we pull this off, it'll be unreal. So the good news is we've played all the big boys and our last 4 games don't look too bad. It might come down to goal difference. We've scored the same amount as Bayern, but we've conceded a few more.
Are you ready?
In the run-in, we absolutely destroyed Dusseldorf 7-1. But a vital draw at home to Freiburg
No, God, please, no.
meant with 1 game to go, we dropped 2 points behind Bayern. We need a miracle. We need Bayern to lose and we need to win. Great. 46 minutes, we made the breakthrough. Klosterman found Sesko 1-0 up. As it stands, Bayern still haven't made the breakthrough against FC Köln, which meant we are locked on 80 points, but the goal difference is killing us. Yusuf Poulsen scored our second, but Bayern also scored. Late in the match, Bayern gave away a stupid equaliser. But they held on, and we miss out on the league on goal difference. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. So despite that great effort, we failed on all 3 fronts. It means we've got to do another season at RB Leipzig. We've got to keep faith with the tactic though, right? The libero story rolled into Leipzig. Using double liberos in a 4-2-3-1, we were neck and neck with mighty Bayern, all the way to a last day decider. In a heartbreaking twist, we miss out on the league on goal difference. So another season dawned on RB Leipzig, but I can handle that, that's okay. Well, I could handle it until Lois Openda went to Barcelona for 80 million. So for this final season at Leipzig, we replaced him with Estanis Pedrola, a former Barcelona youth player, and the faceless Christopher Bonsu-Bah from Genk, 2 pacey, wide players. This meant a small tactic tweak for Season 2, with the wide target forward getting replaced by an inverted winger to take advantage of Bonsu and his pace.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Right, we started like a wounded animal and we absolutely destroyed Dortmund. And then we got knocked out of the German Cup by tiny Paderborn. We lost a super tight game away to Bayern Munich, just by a corner goal. But in the home match, we got our revenge, causing havoc from crosses. Sesko nearly, but Bonzu, our new hero, put it in. A 3-2 win, and that was vital. Because after an exit in the quarter-final of the Champions League to Benfica, the league was all we had for the trophy, and we absolutely killed it. However, take a look at the league table. Can you believe this? For the second year in a row, the final game of the season, we go down, locked on points, but this time, we are on top by 1 goal. Yeah, this is unreal. We've got identical records. We've both won 24. We've drawn 6. We've lost 3. But we've scored 82. They've scored 77. Final game of the season was Stuttgart, whereas Bayern had Werder Bremen. Probably an easier match. That's been the team most of the season, although Sesko's missed a large chunk of it due to injury, and Poulsen has jumped up front along with Werner. They've done a good job. And by the way, Lekeba is a great libero. He's got 4 assists this season. He's a bit of class. After only 5 minutes, we made the great start. Some lovely play from the libero to the wing back. He pulls it back. And there was a Stanis who pinged it in. He's been great, by the way. 12 goals from his 38 matches. One to look out for. Near enough the same time, Bayern also go ahead through Samadzik. So it's as you were. 16 minutes gone. Wait a minute. Bayern Munich are now 3-0 up after 13 minutes. Are you kidding me? That means they go top of the table with a goal difference higher than ours. We need to start scoring goals. Half time. If we lose it like this... 47 minutes gone, a little flick on, mistake by the defender and Sesko. The joy was short-lived, however, because Bayern have just scored a 4th. But after 55 minutes, Danny Olmo makes it 3-0 to us. This is the maddest final day I think I've ever had. Now, we are 3-0 up. If you look at the top corner above my head, Bayern are 4-0 up, but I think it must be goals scored that comes into play now. Clarification. But we're back on top of the league. 73 minutes. Disaster. Where's this came from Stuttgart? What a move. Oh my god. At the same time, Werder Bremen score as well, so the league does not change. Jeez. 85 minutes have gone. Bayern have scored again. They go back on top of the league. We have got a highlight though. How does this play out? In it comes. A Stanis. Chance. You've got to be kidding me. So after a stunning season, FC Bayern on the maddest final day take it by 1 goal. 1 blooming goal. So that's the end of our Leipzig journey. 2 seasons, no trophies. I mean, it doesn't feel like we should be gutted, but I am so gutted. The most traditional tactic we've used so far, although it did really well, did not win us a trophy. So RB Leipzig and the RB Leipzig tactic is deemed a failure.
Time to go!
So a new chapter begins, and probably the biggest club on the wheel, it's Barcelona. And the good news is they are second in the Spanish division. There they are, and they haven't won the league, and it's Real Madrid, as in real life, just dominating proceedings. However, they are about to play the Champions League final, and they are in smoking hot form, so knowing our luck, they're probably going to win this. PSG won, so I don't feel as bad now. To Spain we go. As you may have guessed, Barcelona have got a cracking squad and huge options at libero. How about Tomori? He's found himself there. Arujo is still there, as is Jules Koundé. They're not going to sell them, boys. Also, look at the blow-up from youngster Chadi Riyad. Another great option. Yeah, this squad is ridiculous. The midfield's going to be outrageous as well. Xavi, Pedri, Florian Wirtz. Wow. Looking at last season, most of the time it looks like they played like a box formation. So maybe we'll try that, right? So we've done a few versions of the double libero. This time we're going to use a shape that they're used to, but with our tweak on it. So I think this makes sense. They're obviously used to playing this shape, so we're going to do it, but we're going to bring in our double libero, double halfback rotation for it. Let's see. I also forgot our old friend Luis Openda's here just chilling out, so yeah, nice. A quick tactical point on the libero tactics. You'll notice a lot of the out of possession instructions are much higher or higher, standard at least. That's because if we drop it too low, the liberos won't get high up the pitch enough. Remember, we are effectively asking these two to be midfielders. So if we get the ball up here and they can't get up there to support the attack, we're going to have a huge gap in the midfield area, so it makes more sense to keep them with a higher line. Doesn't hurt that FM likes that as well, though, does it? So I've had a little look at the sort of squad we can play, and look at that. Instantly, the connection between those guys, so they love playing this formation, so it's probably the way to go. Further back, who do we play? This is carnage. De Jong, Xavi, but Pedri can't get in the team. Lamine Yamal can't get in the team. Tomori, we are spoilt for choice. The only problem we've got this time is Real Madrid, and Jurgen's in charge. Last time at Leipzig, the most dramatic final day you will see. The double libero 4-2-3-1 took us all the way until another heartbreaking near miss. It was time to go to Barca. After a look at the squad, it's time for the double libero Barca box. To start with, we brought in big bad Steve Mandanda as our assistant manager. He's terrible, but I did it for the vibes. Okay, let's show you how this one works in the match. I'll show you one thing I have changed from that tactic I showed you though in the pre-season. I'm taking a bit of a risk and I'm putting Frankie de Jong as the libero and the centre-back Riyad in front of him. They can both do them roles. He can play in defensive midfield and de Jong can play at centre-back. But the reason I'm putting him there is because I've made it support and he's going to get loads of the ball up here. So I'm taking a risk, hoping that we're not going to defend too much and he can actually be a really deep Beckenbauer, Mateus-esque player. In defence, totally fine. There's the flat back four. Now you'll notice Kajagard is playing as an attacking midfielder in this one and he's about to cover the fullback. So your attacking midfielders will cover the fullbacks. So with the same rotations as the last tactic, but we're going to dominate centrally because we've got so many players in there. So let's have a look at those players involved. So you've got de Jong who's about to set off. He's going to switch places with Riyad and Araujo's going to switch places with Gavi. So there goes de Jong. You see de Jong's on the support duty. He's already way advanced. He's nearly at the halfway line. Coming from deep. Nobody picking him up. That's what we want. He's in a bit of space. Araujo finds him. He's going to play the key pass to Tomiyasu, who's a new signing. And that brings us close. So that's how it works. De Jong, support, bit of a free roll. But somehow we've ended up drawing that game 2-2 despite having 29 shots. So I'm going to tweak it a little bit and then I'll put the final tactic in Patreon. We're going to find out what we're going to be like this season thanks to an early game away at Madrid. At half-time we were 1-0 down. We were playing well, but Madrid just nicked in front. So I switched to the away version of the tactic, which is here. Instead of a fullback, we have an inverted fullback that comes across to partner the other halfback and a ball-winning midfielder to cover this area. Those three changes led to 3 goals in a matter of minutes. First the penalty. Then some good play down that right hand side with the fullback, the wide striker and the attacking midfielder all linking up. And we claimed the third one just minutes later through de Jong. An away win at Real Madrid? Yeah, this tactic's ready to go. After we finalised the tactic, we had a great start, only losing away to Sevilla. The link-ups between the front four were fantastic. I did move de Jong back to this position here in bigger games, but against smaller teams I did move him back there. So them two kind of switched. We did actually claim a trophy, beating Real Madrid again in another classic, but it was the Super Cup, so that doesn't count for us, unfortunately. But the signs were really good. We were playing some great football, and the Champions League was getting seen to. This was a quarter-final against Newcastle, where we absolutely bulldozed them. And we did the same to Juventus in the semi-finals. The league was still going great as well, and this was a landmark result against Atletico Madrid. Bang! 6-0. And to show it was no fluke, we beat Real Madrid again, this time at the Camp Nou. A dominant one-sided display. What a player this man is, playing either up front or in the number 10 role. He's ended up for the season with 36 goals. And Florian Wirtz, you already know how good he is, but 23 goals and 19 assists from the number 10 position. Most of the season I kept to this formation, and that's the one I will share in Patreon, but I will add the player instructions for this team at the end of the video. There is the other version as well, only slight changes, but this is the one I preferred. Key out of possession instruction was to stop the crosses because we started to concede a few early in the season, so I added that and it really helped. Okay, a chance to win our first trophy came against Real Madrid in the Spanish Cup, and wouldn't you just know it, the one time they beat us this season in extra time. Damn it.
Please, no! No!
That meant we needed to concentrate on the league and we were playing really well. Just a couple of defeats late stopped us in our tracks at Villarreal and Valencia. And despite clocking 92 points, Real Madrid once again won the league with 98. We had an unbelievable season, to be fair. We scored 115 times, more than Real Madrid. We conceded the same amount. We just drew a slight too many matches at 5. But we'd made it to the final of the Champions League, unbelievably, where we would play Paris Saint-Germain. Now, this is a PSG who still have Kylian Mbappe. In fact, the starting 11 was pretty much what they have now, so experience and a very tough team.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So this is it, the Champions League final. Our only chance of a trophy this season is the biggest one you can blooming win. Early days, PSG cut us open a little bit, and Xavi Simons put them in front. That was only 2 minutes in. After 4 minutes, we responded though with a booming header. I didn't realise he was 6'4". What a header that is. And after 9 minutes, this is a whirlwind start to the match. Araujo from Libero. What a finish. PSG came back at us in the second half with all their big guns. It seems like they went really attacking and they were trying. But we stood firm and ter Stegen was fantastic. And we only went and did it. A Champions League win. Well, what a season with Barcelona that was. We could have won it all. We ended up winning the Champions League, but we were close to winning absolutely everything. Probably my favourite version of the double libero tactic yet was that one. The link-ups were sublime. And the way that the liberos, the halfbacks, and that front four just dominated the middle, with only one guy really playing wide in Balde. Beautiful.
One more for the good guys.
So it's just a season with Barcelona. The rules are we've got to move on now, and we're starting to run out of clubs. Let's get to the wheel.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, at the end of the 6th season, we've got 5 clubs to go. Villa, Ajax, Sporting, Panathinaikos and Fenerbahce. We might not get through them all, but next we're going to find out where we're going. On the last libero story, we were at massive Barcelona. We brought in the double libero Brazilian box, and most teams just couldn't handle us. Some thumping results led to a Champions League win. We left with the wheels spinning, landing on I think it's a good time for a little trophy update to see how far we've came. We started into Milan. It took us 2 seasons to get that first trophy, but we clawed the time back with a trophy and half a season at Celtic and half a season at Lyon. The Leipzig heartache still hits me. 2 seasons, 2 second places, no trophies. And in Barcelona, we had a cracking time and got that done in a season. Now we're on to Panathinaikos. We could probably do with getting something in the first season to get back on track. Panathinaikos, we are actually in a league that I have never managed in, so I'm quite excited about this. Now, they're a famous name, but they're not that good at this point of the game. This is the way their last season panned out. Greek football breaks into 2 groups, like a lot of European leagues do, and they finished bottom of that championship group, but they did qualify for the Conference League, so we'll have another opportunity at a trophy there. The main part of the season is only 26 matches, then you break into the championship group for another 10, so it's an interesting little take on it. Looking forward to this. Having a quick look through the squad, there's not that many standouts. Thomas Strakos is probably the best known, and that's not saying a lot, is it? 34-year-old, but a really good goalkeeper. But how are we doing for liberos? We'll have a little look. We've got some Croatians here. Barakovic, he looks pretty decent. Good first touch, technique, passing, okay. Michaelidis, again, not too bad, not as good on the ball. Another Croatian in Hartman, doesn't look like a libero to me. And a regen youngster, who's probably going to be quite good actually. But first thoughts are, we don't have as many liberos, so it could be back to a back 4 for this one. Further upfield, there's a lot of strikers, but they're all kind of average. Here's probably the best of them, Said Hamulic, and he looks about as excited as anybody. I mean, look at him, he's going to go to sleep. It's that time to delve into the double libero archives and find a suitable tactic for these guys. This is the one we're going to give a go. This is the Liberican Nightmare. If you know, you know. Now, there's the reason why I'm excited about this one is because I'm effectively going to nullify the liberos going crazy. Now, bear with me. Now, because I've got two inverted wing backs on attack, which will in effect bomb up to here all the time, if not beyond, and a halfback in the DM zone, my thoughts are that the liberos won't be as crazy going too far forward. I think they'll stick to their position a little bit more, but still have the technical and in possession aspects for the libero that will help the tactic. What I mean by that is on the ball, they'll still be a bit more expressive than normal defenders, but because we've already got these players up there, they won't want to dive up there, so maybe this won't be as carnage as it looks. Or maybe we'll find out that everybody just goes forward and the halfback is left to have a party at the back by himself with the goalkeeper. I mean, there's only one way to find out. Now, because I'm in a league I'm not too familiar with, I gave absolutely all of the transfer responsibilities to the director of football. He ended up bringing in 9 million and spending 2 million, and the one player I was looking forward to using, the goalkeeper, Strakosha, well, he's gone already. However, I will give him props for bringing in TATO, formerly of Real Madrid, and Balde, who's been about a bit, but looking at his attributes at this level, he could be decent, especially that flair. Love that. That's the way the team looks in the shape. Width supplied by the wingers. These inverted wing backs will pile in there. We've got a nice little playmaker experience in Bacasitas. He will rotate with TATO. I like it. However, I didn't land on that formation straight away, and I tried a few in pre-season, and unfortunately in the Conference League I got knocked out 6-7, and that was the formation I used for that. Yeah, that didn't work. But once we got the tactic loaded and settled on, they started to play some good stuff. Here's a big 5-1 win, and look at the sheer amount of chances they're creating as well. Not to mention this game against Ajax away from home. I mean, it's got to be interesting, this.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
As the season got going and they started to roll, we were playing really well, winning more games than not and going really well in the Greek Cup. The question about will the liberos leave their position as often as they have been with this new formation has been answered. So if you look at this formation here, the four we've got highlighted there are the defenders. Ramadani at the top is the right wing back. Chisumba down the bottom is the left wing back, and they're inverted wing backs, so they're going to bomb forward. Two in the middle are the centre backs. One just in front is the half back. As this game progresses and we win the ball back, that's the centre back, and that's the right wing back. Look where the right wing back's gone. Look where the left wing back's gone. He's in the pocket now. And then my two centre backs are staying next to the half back. Play it on a little bit more. They're not venturing too far forward. In our other formations, they would have been bombing up where the two inverted wing backs are, but they're doing that job now. So what that means is we're a little bit more solid. They will venture forward, look, just over the halfway line, half back just in between them. But what it means is we're a lot more solid, but we've still got a little bit of libero action going on. The key pass is now going to come from the right back and the left back. There's Chisumba, that's my left wing back. He plays a little ball through, and we bang it in. It's hard to tell what the best chance of a trophy is, but it's probably the cup, and unfortunately we came up against the best team in AEK Athens. They were just too clinical for us. Despite us putting up a good show, we went out 8-4 on aggregate in the quarterfinals. Damn! But a really good showing in the league meant that we finished second in the main part of the season through the 26 games. Only AEK Athens, who didn't lose a match, finished above us. That means the championship group splits like this. We've got another 10 matches now, but AEK Athens already 9 points clear. This is looking like a tough ask to get a trophy. It looks like it might be another season.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Into the championship group we went, and we hammered some teams. Panathinaikos for 7, and a really impressive 4-goal win over Olympiacos. We also became the first team to beat AEK Athens this season. A great start to the championship group, but we fell away at the end with 3 defeats in the last 4. We just couldn't catch AEK Athens, too far ahead, too good. They scored over 100 goals, work to do. I'm actually really happy with the season. It's just AEK Athens are just that step above us. So, in our second and final season with Panathinaikos, I'm going to take over the transfers to give us a better chance. I know what we'll need for this, but I really like the tactic. It's decent. I'm going to stick it in Patreon for you guys as well. At the end of the next episode, I'll stick the player instructions on if you want that tactic and you're not in Patreon. But for next season, this area is going to be all me. So if I get some good players in over to Greek football, who knows? But we are running out of seasons now.
I'm tired of being nice.
Back to the libero story. Our new home was Greece and Panathinaikos. After a quick squad assess, we landed on our latest double libero tactic. We upset the odds, but fell just short. Right, welcome back to Panathinaikos, and we have made those moves we were talking about. You can tell I'm in charge because I've literally brought in 0.
You want the good news?
Now, players we brought in Liam Gibbs, little playmaker. Ethan Laird, he's going to play as a right wing back. Jacob Brun Larson, who's a winger, but we're going to flip it and play him as a wing back. And Luca Fletcher, in on loan, going to be our striker. So that is this season's team, and I think it's stronger than last season. The only thing I'm lacking in is a class libero. Season preview kind of shows the level we're at. 4 favourites at 10-1. In our final season at Panathinaikos, this shows how hard this job is. They haven't won the league since 2010, and the Greek Cup, they haven't won that since 2024, but we've got to win one of those. We are in the Champions League, but come on, the reality of us winning that is, well, you know. But to be fair, in that first qualifying round, we absolutely destroyed Anderlecht away from home, and that's 4-0. But in the next qualifying round, we drew mighty Ajax. We were never going to beat these lot. There's our tactic. Some good things in there. The Brun Larson risk. Remember, he's a winger, but I've stuck him in as an inverted winger back because most of the time they spend their time up there. So you need someone creative and less defensive minded. So he was perfect for that. The front two were great. The problem came, like we thought at the start of the season, the liberos. These two were not linking up well together. Problem. This kind of showed in the results. We started off pretty badly, you know. Thankfully, in the Greek Cup, we were playing really well. This is always going to be our best chance of silverware this year, and Luca Fletcher had settled into Greece brilliantly. His overall for the season was 32 in 49. He's on loan from Brentford via Man City. Pick him up. So how about the Europa League? It was always going to be tough, but we didn't disgrace ourselves and qualified with 3 wins out of the 8 matches. In the knockout rounds, we played Wolfsburg. We actually beat them at home, and it took a 94th minute winner for them to knock us out. Yeah, it was a strange season this. We lost too many matches. We lost 9 in the league campaign there and only just scraped into the championship group. But the second half of the season was really good, and in the championship group, we only lost 1 match, and we beat AEK Athens twice.
Hey, yo.
They are the best team in Greece by a distance, but they couldn't handle us for some reason. So the championship group finished the same as last year, really. AEK Athens way ahead, but the only team to beat them in that second stage was us twice. And that is important because in the Greek Cup, we got past Olympiacos in the semi-final to get to the final against AEK Athens. And I want to show you this, how the inverted wingbacks and the liberos have got us there. We talked about how the inverted wingbacks will take this sort of space up here, so it will leave the liberos to just be good ball playing defenders, getting a little bit more advanced but not as crazy. And look how this one plays out. If I highlight right back Laird and left back Brun Larson, they turn into almost attacking players here. Here's Laird with the through ball to the striker. The overlap's coming from the left back, and he's the man that sends us into the Greek Cup final. By having those 2 inverted wing backs doing that job, the liberos chill out a bit, staying back, but still being really good ball players, a bit more aggressive than a ball-playing defender. A long season's going to end with the Greek Cup final. We are against AEK Athens, who just win everything here. It's going to need a bit of a miracle.
Are you ready?
Athens are big favourites, but we started off really well, peppering the goal. After 12 minutes or so, they didn't seem to be dealing with us again, just like the league campaign. Movement everywhere, look at this. Going to see the advanced forward running into the channel. Fletcher causing havoc. We go close again. Early stages, we looked really good, dominating the ball, and then that happened. I don't believe it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Only 15 minutes had gone when Valera decided to do that. That meant we faced 75 minutes with 10 men. Obviously, Athens started to crank up the pressure, but the boys defended superbly. But Athens just can't deal with this formation, and we were still dominating possession. And in the second half, after 56 minutes, Fletcher went through. We're leading the best team in the league with 10 men. Then the liberos started to get into it. That was the amazingly named Triantafilopoulos. It's the 88th minute, a corner to Athens, starting to throw bodies at us. But we are defending like beavers.
Did I hear that correctly? Yeah. Fighting like beavers.
Cleared off the line, just about survive. And after dominating possession, even with 10 men for over 75 minutes, Panathinaikos win the Greek Cup. This might not be the most astonishingly high-level league in Football Manager, but that cup win is one of my best achievements with 10 men against the best team in the league. There's the tactic that done it. I'll put the play instructions on the end of the video. It's already in Patreon. Now putting the youngster in at centre back, whose name Polydorus Triantafilopoulos. That was the masterstroke in that game. Them two work better together. Right, so after giving Panathinaikos their first Greek Cup since 2024, they're now back in business. It's time for us to hit the wheel and see where we go. We've only got, what, is it 2 seasons left?
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Today, it's the most explosive tactic yet. Learning from a master and destroying it. Right, so here we are then. 2 seasons to go. And the first one, at least, will be with Ajax. At the end of the last episode, I showed you they've just had a cracking season. They've won the league and they also won the Europa League. And the Dutch Cup. Oh my God. So they won a treble. And now this maniac's taken over. Had a quick look through the squad and it looks blooming good, and the libero options look aplenty. You've got Josip Satalo from Croatia, a young Swiss called Cospo. All of these boys are fantastic on the ball. Jalo, Portuguese, TATO, it goes on and on. So many good players and so many good potential liberos. So with our stipulation of at least 2 liberos, and this is Ajax, we're going to remix a bit of an Ajax classic. Now don't get me wrong, if Johan Cruyff saw what we're about to do, he probably wouldn't be too happy. But let's just say that shape there is the sort of shape that we're going to go for. So it is indeed a return to the 3 centre-backs. And yes, you guessed it, all 3 will be liberos. Welcome everybody to this formation I've lovingly titled If I Speak.
If I speak, I am in big trouble.
Now this is without doubt the craziest version of the triple libero we've done yet. But there's a reason for it. We should be the strongest team in this league. We should be winning a trophy, so we're going to take a risk. So yes, it's very attacking, but I have tried to make it make sense as best I can. The 2 outside liberos will have stay wider on it and close down less, so hopefully they won't get dragged out of position going for the ball. And when they do have the ball, they're probably going to be the ones who back up those wingers. Up front, it's just carnage. We've got the wingers either side, controlling the entire flank. Got an advanced playmaker, and I thought, why have a drop-off striker when we've got all these options behind? Let them both just stay as high as we can.
People laughed about because they didn't understand that it was football.
Right, not surprising for the new season, we are 5-6 on favourites. So that means this should be good, but it also means that these people are going to be very keen to pull the trigger on us if we have a nightmare. In this shape, that's the way the team's going to look. We've got the 3 liberos all perfectly set up for it. Hato can also play wide, even on the wing. He is an absolute dream of a libero. The more defensive-minded one will be our boy Josip. And even the 6'4" right-sided one can dribble a bit. They're just 3 great liberos. We've got pace on the wings. It looks really good, this. We're going to concede a few, but hey, we're going to score a load.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Time for the first test. A bit of a free hit in the Super Cup against Feyenoord. It looks good. 4-1 against our biggest rivals. It looks really good. Okay, let me show you how it looks in match. Who we've got highlighted there is Mansverk, is the halfback. And you can see he's the deeper of the players trying to receive the ball. Cospo and Hato are the 2 wide liberos. Sutalo is the libero on defend. That's the shape. And if you look at it higher up the pitch, we've got 5 across the front, one's behind my fat head. So it's going to open some crazy attacking options here. One more to show you them in attack. There's my wide centre-backs on the counter-attack. And you can see half-back and centre-back are sitting deep. So they stay back while the liberos get themselves forward. They open up a completely new attacking threat. You can see Cospo, the right-sided libero, nice and wide, backing up the winger. And he's the one who plays the killer through ball for the finish. Going forward, this tactic's going to be insane. How did it go for all the season, though?
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
We started the season with goals aplenty all over the place. The only team stopping us scoring was Tottenham away in the Champions League. Games like this were pretty common, so it started better than I thought. In the Champions League group phase, we qualified in the top 8, only losing one match. And how did the Liberos do? All of them were class. How about Cospo with 7 goals, 5 assists? Shatalo, 6 goals, 7 assists, and Hato with 4 of each. However, the first big fail came in the Dutch Cup. We drew Feyenoord away, the toughest game we could have got, and they knocked us out. However, this was by far my most enjoyable tactic I've ever used. It is absolute carnage. How about this in the Champions League against Benfica?
All this tippy-tappy stuff, everybody keeps going about the right way to play football. It's all a lot
36-year-old Onana's back at the club, and he's so far ahead of all other goalkeepers in terms of passing. Although games like this in the league mean he's not going to get anywhere near the Golden Gloves award. Just a casual 7-4. This tactic doesn't come without its risks, and Arsenal exposed it. Despite beating them at home, they knocked us out 2-4 in the Champions League, so that's another option gone.
damn.
But the league was going really well. Most teams couldn't deal with us, only Feyenoord beating us. For people who've watched this whole series, what I'm about to show you, I mean, how has this happened again? With a game to go, we sit top of the Eredivisie, but we are neck and neck with Feyenoord with absolutely identical records. We have identical records in terms of wins, draws and losses and goal difference. It's just our 111 goals put us on top. So it's yet another last day decider, and we've got a tough game against rivals PSV. So I'm surprised in a happy way that we've taken Johan Cruyff's football, completely destroyed it.
Because they didn't understand that it was football.
Kept a similar type of shape, but we've been pretty successful. One game to go to get this trophy.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
As many of you know, we have a bad record in final day fixtures, but we took an early lead after a minute. But PSV went up the other end after 15 minutes and equalised. Pretty much the exact same time Feyenoord took the lead, meaning they went top of the league. But we responded straight away from that PSV goal, 1 minute later in fact. PSV did get another goal back and draw level. With 20 minutes to go, I was getting a little bit stressed, but then we got another breakthrough. And finally, after 80 minutes, a booming header gave us the fourth, the win, and we actually win the league on the last day. I'd be lying if I thought I wasn't taking a risk with that tactic at the start of the season, but we win the league and the last day of the season on goals scored. How sweet it is.
One more for the good guys.
I love that absolute devastating looking beast of a tactic. Would I use it if I was you? Probably not. It's in Patreon if you want to give it a go, and I'll stick the player instructions on at the end. For something different, beat that. With that success, it does mean we've got time on our 10 season limit for one more club and one more season. To the wheel we go.
In big trouble.
Last time, we ended up at Ajax, took inspiration from Cruyff and devastated it, but we got the league title, and now it's Fenerbahce. So we have landed on Fenerbahce to be our final destination in this Libero story. A massive team in Turkey, not surprising, they've always been in and around the championship. Last year they finished second, but before that they won the league 3 years in a row. But much like Jose Mourinho coming in
Big trouble.
they're going to love me because they didn't actually win anything last season, losing in the Turkish Cup final. As I look through the squad, there wasn't too many standout names, but more importantly, for the Libero's sake, we had some good ones. The best of the bunch was Jan Bisek. I'm sure he starts the game at Inter Milan. Yeah, he does. They picked him up a few years ago for 16.5 million. Now, he's got it all, including some pretty impressive long shots, but his physicals are outrageous. So knowing he's going to be the main libero on the team, it was time to make our final double libero tactic.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
And this time, friends, if you thought last time's was a bit explosive, wait till you see this. Hello, everybody. I can't tell you how excited I am to show you this absolute abomination. Now, look, it's the last one. I wanted to try something a little bit extreme and, well, I'll say a little bit.
I'd like to take this chance to apologise.
So how does this one possibly make sense? Well, the wing's going to be occupied by our two wing backs. They're going to work the wings. No problems there. Obviously, up front's pretty much sorted, don't you think? And the liberos will jump into midfield. It means everybody in the world must now feel sorry for whoever gets the role as halfback, because he's going to be the one guy that we can rely on to stay behind the halfway line. I reckon the club president is already regretting what he's done. But if he'd followed our history, he'll know that we're capable of doing this sort of thing.
Now, the Turkish Football Federation has indefinitely suspended all the leagues in the country.
So the team will look like that. The two centre-backs who will be our liberos, I'm quite happy with them. Bisek is a beast at 6'5" and really good on the ball. Next to him, he's got the Dutchman, Narasho Kasanwerjo. Again, another great ball-playing centre-back. They'll be fine. This is the guy that's earmarked to do the half-back job at the minute. Defensively, he needs to be elite, and he's okay. His positioning's only 12 though, so that might cause us a few issues. This is the great unknown, this formation, right? It's carnage, but in a pre-season, Bisek's bagged from the edge of the box. He's our libero in a 7-3 win. Next, we played Lazio in a pre-season friendly, and we won 10-2. Now it doesn't seem so silly, right? Now it doesn't seem so silly. By the way, the Feyenoord match was actually in a Champions League qualifier. Here's the second leg. We won that one 4-2 for an aggregate win of 11-5. So there's the back four, 1, 2, 3, 4. No problems there. When these lot get the ball, Fenerbahce, you can see in defence we're pretty solid. There's the centre-back just popping in. And there's Bisek, our centre-back. And Saleh is there as well. Now, we'll play forward. He's playing as the half-back in this one. As he lays that off, you can see Bisek and Amir, the two centre-backs, they go forward. He's sitting back deep, and everybody else is just having a party going forward. Look at that. Bisek's on his way forward as well. To hold it there, Salah is now the only man at the back. Bisek and Amir want to get in the box. Nachi's the false 9. It's just beautiful. As the season went on, they got better and better. Have you ever seen a link-up like that? The league had started well. The Champions League was a little bit tougher though, but we did get a couple of wins. This one against our old team Ajax. That was Bisek, the libero, with the assist. He ends the season with incredible stats for a centre-back. 13 goals and 5 assists. No big deal, right? He's a centre-back. He's 6'5". They'll all be corners, yeah? Well, here's Bisek on the edge of the box. Let's just pause it there. He does this time and time again. As the libero. Oh my God. He bagged a hat-trick in that one. So no success in the Champions League. We only won 2 out of 8, but we didn't get absolutely embarrassed by anybody other than maybe Inter Milan at 4-1. The league was going great, but the cup, Bisek, the golden boy, decided to do that. Why do these players do this to me, searching for a cup? It went to extra time, but that was 2 trophies gone. We only had 1 left. And if you look at the season preview, the bookies did fancy us, 7-5 favourites, and the Media Dream 11, we had a good representation with 6, but they hadn't seen what formation we were about to play. To be fair, with Bisek pulling the strings from libero, they got it pretty right, you know. That's right, this was an unreal season for goals. I can't believe this tactic worked as well as it did. Ready for another libero blockbuster from the edge of the box? Another 8-1 win, this time away from home. And in the final season, we had our most dominant season yet, clocking in 93 points with just 1 defeat. 30 wins out of 34, 125 goals. Yes, we conceded 42. But when you're playing a tactic like that, you're going to. Our first game was here against Feyenoord. There it is, there's the formation. And if you look at it there, the previous coach did 4-3-3 in the friendlies. We said, none of that. We're doing this 4-1-2-3 object. And it ended up giving us a plus 74 clear-cut chances for. Whoa. Whoever ended up playing in that front 5 loved it. I mean, have you seen chemistry like that before? So the final season gets us a trophy, and that means our 10-season Libero story journey is over. From the 8 clubs, we managed to get the Libero tactic working with 7 of them. Only RB Leipzig did not deliver a trophy, which was quite ironically probably the most normal type of tactic. Super fun series, dudes. If you want this tactic, it's obviously going in Patreon, but if you want the player instructions, they'll be on the end of the video. There's all the tactics we've used throughout this journey. It was a good ride, wasn't it?